Picture this. It's May 2026 and Arsenal have just lifted their first Premier League title in over 2 decades. But here's the thing. How Arsenal's 2026 11 could destroy the Premier League isn't just some clickbait fantasy. This is complete and utter domination we're talking about. We're looking at a team so perfectly constructed, so tactically devastating, that they don't just win the league, they absolutely demolish it. But how did Arsenal go from nearly men to Premier League destroyers? Well, it all comes down to one thing, the perfect 11 that Mikel Arteta is quietly building right now, and the recent signings that are starting to make this vision crystal clear. Look, we've all been here before, haven't we? Arsenal fans getting excited about next season, only to watch it all fall apart by Christmas. But 2025 feels different. Arteta's got a system, he's got backing, and most importantly, he's got a vision that's starting to come together with some seriously smart recruitment. So buckle up, because we're about to break down how Arsenal could go from title challengers to title dominators in just 2 seasons. Right now, Arsenal are building something special. They've got one of the youngest squads in the Premier League. They're spending smart, and they're developing players who could genuinely become world-class. The recent additions of players like Kepa Arrizabalaga as backup goalkeeper show they're thinking about squad depth, while targets like Victor Gyökeres and Noni Madueke prove they're serious about adding that final layer of quality. But the question everyone's asking is, can they actually put it all together? Well, I'd been analysing their transfer strategy, their youth development, and their tactical evolution, and I think I know exactly what Arsenal's 2026 11 will look like, and why it could be the most devastating team the Premier League has ever seen.
Let's start with the foundation, because you can't destroy teams if you can't keep clean sheets. And Arsenal's defensive setup for the upcoming season is going to be absolutely rock solid. In goal, you've got David Raya, and at 30 years old, this guy is entering his absolute prime. He's already showing he can be that sweeper keeper Arteta needs, but with another season of development under his belt, he'll be challenging for the Golden Glove. And here's the clever part. Having quality backup means Raya's constantly being pushed to maintain his standards. That competition breeds excellence. But here's where it gets interesting. The back four is where Arsenal's 2026 team becomes genuinely frightening. On the right, you've got Ben White, but not just any Ben White. This is a player who's now perfected Arteta's inverted fullback role. He's basically become a hybrid defender midfielder who can shut down attacks and start them in the same movement. At centre-back, William Saliba will be 24, right in that sweet spot where pace meets experience. Pair him with Gabriel Magalhaes, who'll be 27 and approaching his absolute peak. And you've got a partnership that's been playing together for years. They know each other's game inside out. And on the left, this is where Arsenal's masterstroke comes in. Jurriën Timber has now fully adapted to the Premier League, and his versatility means Arteta can switch between back threes and back fours mid-game without making a substitution. It's like having a tactical cheat code. But here's the thing that makes this defense truly special. They're not just defending. Every single one of these players can play out from the back, switch the play, and start attacks. When your defense becomes your first line of attack, that's when you start destroying teams. Now, if the defense is the foundation, the midfield is the engine, and Arsenal's 2026 engine is going to be absolutely relentless. And here's where Arsenal's summer transfer window has been absolutely genius. At the base, you've got Martin Zubimendi, the Spanish maestro who's just arrived from Real Sociedad. At 25, Zubimendi is entering his prime as one of Europe's most intelligent holding midfielders. His ability to read the game, break up play, and distribute the ball with surgical precision gives Arsenal that deep-lying playmaker they've been missing. But here's the masterstroke. Signing Zubimendi doesn't replace Declan Rice. It unleashes him. Because now, Rice can do what he does best. Drive forward, arrive late in the box, and become a genuine goal threat. At 26, Rice is no longer just a defensive midfielder. He's becoming this complete box-to-box player who can score 10, 15 goals a season from midfield. Having Zubimendi behind him means Rice can push higher up the pitch without worrying about leaving gaps. And completing this midfield triangle? Martin Odegaard at 26, the captain who's now had multiple seasons to perfect his role as Arsenal's creative heartbeat. He's not just a playmaker anymore, he's become this complete midfielder who can control tempo, create chances,
and press relentlessly for 90 minutes. Think about the tactical flexibility this gives Arteta. Zubimendi sitting deep and dictating play. Rice making those lung-busting runs into the box. Odegaard floating between the lines, creating magic. That's not just a midfield, that's a complete tactical system that can dominate possession and hurt you in transition. And here's the scary part. All three of these players are now in their prime. They complement each other perfectly, and they're playing in a system that maximizes every single one of their strengths.
But let's be honest, you don't destroy the Premier League with just solid defending and good midfield play. You need firepower. And Arsenal's 2026 attack is going to be absolutely lethal, thanks to some brilliant summer business. Up front, Victor Gyökeres has arrived from Sporting CP, and this signing is pure genius. At 27, Gyökeres is entering his absolute prime as a striker. His combination of physicality, movement, and clinical finishing is exactly what Arsenal needed. He can hold up play, run in behind, finish with both feet, and score headers. Plus, his work rate and pressing ability fits perfectly with how Arteta wants his team to play. But here's what makes Gyökeres so dangerous in this Arsenal system. He's not just a goal scorer, he's a complete striker who can drop deep and create space for others. When Rice makes those late runs into the box, Gyökeres can pull defenders away. When Martinelli cuts inside, Gyökeres can drift wide. He's like a tactical Swiss Army knife. On the wings, Arsenal now have incredible depth and quality. Bukayo Saka remains the first-choice right winger. At 23, he's still developing and is already one of the Premier League's most dangerous players. But here's the game-changer. Noni Madueke has arrived as competition and cover. Madueke at 23 brings that pace, directness and ability to beat players one-on-one that gives Arsenal a different dimension. Whether he's starting games or coming off the bench, defenders know they're facing a player who can change the game in an instant. And the competition between Saka and Madueke will push both players to new levels. On the left, Gabriel Martinelli will be 24, right in that sweet spot where raw talent meets tactical maturity. But here's what makes this attacking setup so special. Martinelli can also rotate with Madueke, giving Arteta incredible tactical flexibility. Need more pace? Bring in Madueke. Need more creativity? Stick with Martinelli. But here's the thing that makes this attack truly devastating. It's not just about individual quality. It's about how they work together. Saka cutting inside while White overlaps. Martinelli drifting central while Timber provides width. Gyökeres dropping deep to create space for Rice's late runs. Madueke providing that X-factor off the bench. This isn't just an attack. It's a tactical puzzle that no defense in the Premier League will be able to solve. But individual players don't win leagues, systems do. And Arsenal's 2026 system is going to be the most sophisticated tactical setup the Premier League has ever seen. Picture this. Arsenal have the ball. Zubimendi sits deep between the centre-backs. White inverts into midfield. Timber pushes high on the left. Rice drives forward into the box while Odegaard floats between the lines. Suddenly, you've got a back three, a midfield diamond, and a front three, all from the same starting 11. But when they lose the ball, instant transformation. The fullbacks drop back. Zubimendi shields the defence. Rice and Odegaard press high. The wingers track back. It's like watching a team shapeshift in real time. And here's the scary part, with players like Gyökeres leading the press, Madueke providing pace in behind, and Zubimendi controlling the tempo, Arsenal can adapt their style mid-game. Need to control possession? Zubimendi dictates. Need to hit on the counter? Rice and the wingers break forward. Need a goal? Gyökeres becomes the focal point while Rice arrives late in the box. By this season, every single Arsenal player will know exactly where their teammates will be, exactly when to press, exactly when to drop off. It'll be like watching a perfectly choreographed dance, except the dance destroys Premier League defences. Now, you might be thinking, what about City? What about Liverpool? What about United's rebuild? Here's the thing. This season, the City squad is ageing. City's core players like Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan are either gone or now 34. Liverpool are building a new team which has potential to be derailed. United are still figuring things out under their new structure. But Arsenal have just made 3 perfect signings that address every weakness in their squad.
Zubimendi gives them that deep-lying playmaker, Gyökeres provides the clinical striker they needed, and Madueke adds depth and pace to their attack. They have a manager in his prime, a squad hitting their peak, and a system that's been perfected over years. While everyone else is transitioning, Arsenal are ready to dominate.
So, here's my prediction for Arsenal's 2025-26 season.
They won't just win the Premier League, they'll win it by double digits. With Gyökeres leading the line, Rice scoring from midfield, and players like Madueke providing that X-factor, they'll score over 90 goals. With Zubimendi controlling the tempo and that rock-solid defence, they'll have the best defensive record in the league, and they'll do it all while playing the most effective football the Premier League has ever seen. This isn't just about winning trophies, this is about creating a legacy. This is about building a team that people will talk about for decades. Look, I know Arsenal fans have been hurt before. I know you've heard promises about this season that never came true, but this feels different. The pieces are falling into place, the system is working, and these summer signings show they're serious about completing this project. What do you think? Am I being too optimistic about Arsenal's 2025-26 prospects with these new signings? Or could Zubimendi, Gyökeres and Madueke really be the final pieces that bring the Premier League title back to North London? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more tactical breakdowns like this, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.